Some say the three-pointed star logo is the best name card you can carry with you, a symbol of success and luxury. After all, that's what Mercedes-Benz stood for in the century of its existence. The best or nothing is a bold tagline that Mercedes-Benz carries loud and proud. Take the S-Class for example. Swanky digital lights, pre-safe impulse side collision, animated ambient lighting, it has countless party tricks to wow the kids and colleagues. But that applies to the pinnacle of luxury. What happens when you strip a Mercedes down to the bare basic? Like the Mercedes-Benz A200 Sedan. Is it the best or nothing? Hello everybody, this is Adrian for WapCar.my and I'm all about the details. Mercedes-Benz Malaysia has just commenced their local assembly of their compact cars range, starting with the A-Class Sedan. Now the A-Class Sedan is now priced from 210,000 ringgit, which makes it 11,000 ringgit cheaper compared to the fully imported CBU model. Now, sad to say that the A-Class hatch, one of my favorite Mercedes-Benz models, is no longer offered officially in Malaysia. You could still buy one based on a special indent order, but their strategy is to focus on the sedan models. And the reason is very simple. When the fully imported CBU sedan and hatch were offered, customers had an overwhelming preference for the sedan model, and the sales numbers show. But the sedan is no less sexy than the hatch. It's very well proportioned, smooth clean lines, and the rear profile is done to perfection. It's not just a mere elongation exercise, which sometimes turns out horribly wrong. Despite wearing the basic progressive line exterior kit, the A200 doesn't look all that Spartan. And really, it's because of the sleek profile that is carrying all the weight. The A-Class is such a beautifully crafted car, and it has numbers to show. Aerodynamic drag coefficient of just 0.22, the lowest of any production car when this baby Benz made its global debut in 2018, only to be superseded by the Tesla Model S 0.208 in 2021, which was quickly dethroned by the Mercedes-Benz EQS of 0.2 did. So you know that Mercedes is really good at making smooth looking cars. Unfortunately, things take a massive downturn when you step inside to the A200 because you see Mercedes-Benz Malaysia has excluded the 64 color ambient lighting option in the CKD A200. And it makes the cabin very bland and boring. Yes, you still get the widescreen cockpit, swanky screen with crisp display, plenty of options to play with, Hey Mercedes voice command, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity. But I feel that the exclusion of the 64 color ambient lighting just takes away what is a Mercedes-Benz interior. You see the entire upholstery in here, the seats, dashboard, and even the interior trims here as this like carbon fiber looking things, black headliner, just makes the cabin feel very dull and gloomy. There's not a speck of color in here. It was such an occasion to be surrounded by the ambient lighting that fades into different hues, changes into different colors. It just wowed anyone and everyone who stepped inside to the cabin of a Mercedes-Benz. Now in the A200, you will have girls asking you, "Hey, why your car no light one? I see on Instagram, their cars got light one." I mean, what are you gonna say? Because you bought the cheapest Mercedes-Benz? Yeah, it's not quite sexy, right? Fortunately, the cabin of the A200 is still pretty practical. You get plenty of storage spaces on the center console here, fits a large size water bottle on the side door bins, and in the rear you get 2.5 tennis balls worth of knee room, 1 tennis balls worth of headroom, and a pretty practical 420 liters of boot space, which your parents-in-law will approve. Driving the entry-level Benz, I must say, it's actually pretty decent. It's certainly not disappointing, nor does it constantly reminding you that you're driving an entry-level model. For starters, you get a fantastic driving position thanks to the flexible, electronically powered adjustment seats with lumbar support. And you also get a full-size footrest in your footwell, unlike rear-wheel driven Mercedes with your firewall eating into the footwell space. So this is proper driving position. Under the hood, you get a 1.3-litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine, a Renault Source M282 engine, which certainly lives up to its output figures of 163 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque, paired to a snappy 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. This is a very effective powertrain in the real world. Based on a WapCar 0 to 100 test, the A200 will do the Century Sprint in 8.4 seconds. And the only limiting factor are the eco tires, which doesn't provide sufficient grip when you're setting off the line. Fuel consumption, not too bad, 7.9 liters per 100 kilometers from a box fresh engine. So expect better fuel economy as you clock up more mileage. In terms of ride and handling, yeah, it's nothing much to shout about, but I have to say this is one of Mercedes' better works. It rides and cushions the undulations well enough, and the only limiting factor is when you go over extremely sharp bumps and humps, it lacks the finesse, so you feel a little bit of a jolt. Steering is very sharp and accurate, so you still get quite a sporty driving experience. And I dare say that the driving experience of this A200 wouldn't lose out to a Bavarian. It's a pretty well insulated cabin in here. The only thing you hear is when you are at higher speeds, a little bit of wind noise and the engine note at higher loads. But overall, I think the A200, in terms of ride and handling, driving experience, certainly lives up to being a premium brand. Looking at the brochure and on showroom floors, yes, I'll admit the A200 doesn't really quite have that wow factor. But to give credit where it's due, it has all the necessities. Connectivity, safety, gets AEB, decent driving performance, but most importantly, mega badge appeal. It's 30,000 ringgit cheaper than the next best thing, which is the A250 AMG line, and it is competitively priced against its direct rival, the BMW 218i Grand Coupe, which has a 3-cylinder engine that commands a higher road tax than the A200's 4-cylinder. Yeah, think about that. The A200 lowers the entry point to the Mercedes-Benz family and opens up the doors to even more people to achieve their dreams of owning a brand new Mercedes. Doesn't matter that you've bought the cheapest Benz, because at the end of the day, the A200 is still a Mercedes after all. And when you gather around your friends, you have this key fob on the table. This is going to be a very weighty business card. An elongation exercise, which sometimes could turn out probably blah blah blah. Fades into different hues, which wowed everyone. Test, it does zero. One more time, sorry.